inward scream.
Those ones, but like actually amplified though. Yeah. It's like, how are you doing that? How are you?
Shut up. We ain't never gonna let up. I'm keeping my head up. Following the way to the cheddar. Getting my bread up. Ducking under shade umbrella. I don't need me no vendetta. Please leave me be with a setup. Just got my dogs back from Corella. Ella, shut up.
Hello, welcome to episode 16 of the SkeemnTV Podcast. I'm here with Cloudy and Zach today. My main co-host. Usually we don't have a special guest today, so we're just gonna...
For those who are just turning into SkeemnTV for the first time, this is a podcast about three grown men who play Pokemon.
I did play Pokemon, but that wasn't like my go-to. I had Emerald, or Leaf Green.
Oh, you started like late?
Yeah.
And then just gave it up?
And then Pearl, and I was out. Yeah.
That's not like...
It's not OG at all. I realize that.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, I'm admitting it. What is it not?
That's not like the new stuff, so it's okay. If you got put on to like just where Pokemon started turning into buckets.
Like black and white.
Then...
What do you got against black?
Oh. Why is it gotta be black? No, but
yeah, there's Pokemon. There's like a shovel Pokemon. There's like a candle Pokemon. There's a Pokemon that's an anchor.
Well, that's my new thing.
I'm getting really confused.
They're just kind of stupid now. Like there's like one that's like BZ.
Well, Beedrill's been out forever.
Yeah, but like it's got like it looks cool, right? The one now is just like a 3 bees and a honeycomb. Like,
should we just make this Pokecast episode?
Oh man, I'm gonna fall off at some point, but I can try and keep up.
So what's going on with you guys? Any new music coming out?
Never.
Bendy's dropping a music video soon, right?
For Dream Girl, yes sir. I don't really know when. Probably mid. That's good. Mid-September. Shout out Ledro. And I'm gonna be putting out a song with Cloudy, Jordan Taylor, Past Life Kenny, and myself. The end of September.
Would you say that it's a certified banger?
Yeah.
It's close. It's there. I like it.
Cool.
It's not super certified yet. It's banger, but it needs a thing. I don't know. It needs a thing in the chorus. The verses are all good. The song has a lot of flow.
Just that thing to set it off type deal?
It just needs something. Maybe more screaming.
Looks at Snoosh.
Okay. We'll figure something out.
No, it needs like somebody to... I tried screaming on it when I went to Sherm's couple weeks ago, and it was hard. And when I was trying to really, he told me, really do it, and my voice went not working. I was like, fuck, dude, I can't. I need Beerus or somebody.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes with that screaming shit, it's like you in your mind, you're like, it's gonna sound like this, and it comes out, you're like, ah.
Yeah, or for me, the frustrating part is I'll have the gut to it, but I can't get the high ones. It's always just this kind of gut or a yell.
I was doing that really loud, but then when you go really loud, it goes it squeaks
cracks,
out.
Yeah.
It doesn't crack. It's almost like it
it's
evaporating. It's small.
Oh, I hear you. Like the vocal cords kind of...
Yeah, they can't handle
this
it.
one's at Clouds. So, did you ever give screaming a go? Like hardcore screaming vocals? I don't know if you were 7th grade. It was just a bunch of kids
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like there were... Actually, one of his paintings. Ed, my friend Tucker, and the squad... Oh, the skeleton cool. There. Now is a successful tattoo artist in Portland. But back in the day, there was a lot of just hardcore / punk influences for our young skate crew.
Yeah.
And we always try and scream some better than others. I never got it. I got
the inward scream.
Those ones, but actually amplified though. Yeah. It's how are you doing that? How are you? I never got it.
I always super respected the bands Asking Alexandria could have those hardcore screaming and then beautiful melodies, the same singer singing both, right? I've never even how do you cache your voice and then sing these falsetto melodies and whatnot, that's always...
If you think about how much vocal practice it takes to scream, it makes sense that they would be able to do more than scream.
I think a lot of them screamers practice more than anyone probably.
Yeah, a lot of them do have their vocal rituals, right? And then they're also just trained vocalists. But one thing I did see, because I was really into Asking Alexandria when I was younger, and their live performances weren't great.
Right.
No one's going to be able to scream like you can on a record, because usually they have 3 screams going, a low, a mid, and a high.
And maybe you've been on tour and like screaming.
And yeah, it's your 16th to 60th show in a row, and you're just like, I can't do this.
I screamed for one of Jordan Taylor's songs one time that never got put out, and it was cool. And me and Will.
And I don't doubt it. Tap into that shit.
I got another new song, but I don't know if I can have it yet. I think I can talk about
What
it
do you
though.
mean?
Sherm, that same
Oh,
day,
that one.
he was showing me verses or hooks that he had made with beats he made that hadn't been necessarily taken, and then he sent one to me, and I wrote the song to it, and I sing on it, which is different, and then it's his singy.
That's the one you
hook.
showed me.
Yeah.
I like that one. That one's like a new take for
me
Benny,
too. I
for
do really
sure.
like it, and I'm like, but I'm like trying not to get my hopes up.
You do
Why?
like.
I don't know if I can have it for sure yet.
Oh, damn. Okay.
To be honest, I thought it was more along the lines of like, yeah, you could probably take this, but now it's seeming like it's more of like a up in the air thing. So I'm trying to.
Well, on
But
what?
it's okay because I'll take the concept of anything.
It was the smooth track that you did like the high vocals on, right?
Yeah.
You did the same thing.
for
Yeah, like dude,
Yeah.
like that, like it sounded good then, and then you do some high vocals on the one you're talking about, and dude, that's kind of like
I've been practicing
You
in
should
the
lean
car and
into
in the
that. It
shower
sounds good,
and
yeah.
on the trampoline, dude. I've been trying.
That's a good one, actually. Practicing singing on the trampoline.
Yeah. I
I did not think
that'd
of
be
that.
that'd be like what to get ready for shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, I would never think of doing that.
all cardio's good, but running is just the best thing. There's nothing better than running and practicing doing your set while jogging. That's like hard, and it gets you really prepared. I feel like. I learned that from Beyonce.
I've never been like a frontman. I've always just played
All right,
guitar,
I'm
so I've
sold.
always thought it was like, you know, people don't really pay as much like respect to how hard it is to run around on stage and like,
Dude, I know.
not.
Yeah, so you
not
gotta
like,
think about.
I felt so out of my element for the Skeemn show. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
I've had to reorganize my set list many times because I thought it was perfect at first, but then I realized I had a lot of my high fear songs at the beginning. I'm like, I can't do that because then if I save all the chill shit for the end, then I'm gonna run out of like some stuff. You know?
I think that's actually just kind of like maturing as an artist too. Is like in the beginning you don't really like. You're just like, fuck, I'm happy to be on stage, and then you realize like as an artist you're like, oh, I need these things like done this way so that I like shine the best, right? Like I was even doing a performance once where it was like comedy, and like the stage was like horrible, and it was like really like high, right? Like it just felt weird, like definitely a concert stage,
You're
right?
funny.
And I was like, dude, I can't do this. Like it's
Being
weird.
far and high and far away from people makes it harder.
So I just did it like in the crowd. Dude, I thought I was so happy that I made that decision because I just like walked around and like picked on people, which is great.
Dude,
I think it's
What's up?
I think it's a good decision. I just think that like there's also, like you said, when you develop as an artist, there's like that perfect like medium of like going out in the crowd sometimes and having sometimes performing for people because that's what they want sometimes too. Like the people that are right there intimate right next to you, they think it's really cool, but now you're taking away some of the view from like a lot of the other people. So like it's really hard when you're up and you really have to perform, but like part of that's important for everybody to grasp what your energy and shit.
Yeah. I was so like in college, I did a lot of like playing out at bars and shit just because like
It's all comedy or music?
music
Okay.
and like singer-songwriter shit. Like just doing covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that, honestly, I wish I kind of had more of that because I was just glad to be there, right? I was like freshman, sophomore in college, just like happy to like be there. And I wish, like, because a lot of times they just be like, oh, you know, go sit in that corner and like ramping, and no one's really watching. You're kind of just background music. And I wish like back then I would have like had the insight to be like, no, or like maybe like try to suggest something else, or like even just not do those things, because like I look back and those are like the gigs that maybe like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore.
Wait, so
I've done, like,
what went south about it though?
It was just like, so like there's like this bar on campus, right? And they would have like, you know, because there's a music school, so they'd have like, they were really like cool about like hiring the students to come in. And so I did it because I was like, you know, freshman, like wanted like, yeah, let's do it. And then it was just like a noisy bar, and like
that's supposed to happen.
Couldn't really hear me.
You're supposed to do that shit. That's like
definitely earning your stripes, but like
Yeah, but it's more than earning your stripes. It's about like taking losses or learning from uncomfortabilities, and like then you do all that shit first, and then now it's nothing to you. Whereas people don't have those experiences, don't have like as much of like a learning like curve.
I guess it's a double-edged thing for sure.
I've taken hella shows I didn't want to do, and done a lot of open mics in front of like
nobody,
a bunch of older people that didn't really even want to listen to me, but like I wouldn't take back those for a thing, because I feel like that's part of one of the main things that made me like appreciate when my friends come out and really doing it for real and shit. Like
facts, like the best shows, it wasn't the best shows. Like one of the first shows, I just like met this cool dude. I was filling in for their drummer at the time, Spencer, and he was like, "Yo, just like come on, we're playing a show at, the venue in a month. Like I had a month or so to prepare." And the audience was primarily parents, and then like a friend or a family friend. Even
people
better.
Like
it was like super intimate, but like not even like that many friends that wanted to be there. It was mostly parents. Like, oh, this is really dope. I mean, it was super fun, but it was just like you need to be knocked down from like people are here to see me. It's like, well, people just like want to vibe. Everyone that was there left after their band played type thing. So I was like,
I hate that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
God, it's the worst.
But it was a blast.
I stick around for shows. If you go to a show, watch the show. If you go to a show, watch the show.
Dope, so
right. But also,
go to a show, watch the show.
So like you're saying, if you go to a show, watch a show. But at the same time, like I guess there's like an old kind of like, since the beginning of time, there's a band playing, it's kind of just background music. So I guess there's like the both, right? So
yeah, but we're talking about shows.
I think you've said it before on like another like podcast where like even if you're like having fun with your friends, you can like do that and like give your energy towards the artist at the same time without like completely checking out or checking
I've also
out.
had times where it's like I've played for 7 people and I know maybe one of them, but like 3 people I don't know are going so hard that I'm like super in it, and there's like barely anybody there.
That's cool too.
Speaking of shows though, by the time this airs, it'll already happen, but the Karma show coming up, do we have any thoughts on that?
Well, just to re-clarify, this is in the past, but this is a lot of future and past colliding, and we're in the middle right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think that was more confusing. What's happening? We shoot the episode.
You're totally right. I'm going to say it differently.
We shoot the episodes 2 weeks prior. The show is in 1 week, so this episode will air 1 week after the show.
But thank you guys for coming out. It was super dope. It was awesome. Everybody killed that shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Wait, you don't know that, though. Maybe we start a fire. We're not going to do that.
We're going to jinx it. What if, like, the whole Big Dipper just burns down?
No, okay, so something else.
You guys don't have tornadoes. So what if there's a tornado, it comes through town, and
doesn't
just,
hit the Big Dipper,
annihilates everything.
But we really have to leave.
Yellowstone erupts.
We can't have the show. We need the Big Dipper to stay.
My dad talks about Yellowstone erupting like it's going to happen tomorrow. He'll be like... you never know, son, because, Yellowstone.
I believe, I don't know this.
He lives in Chicago still?
No, he's here now.
He's here?
Yeah.
Don't we have enough science at this point to, like, at least have warnings a little bit better than we did in the past? Like, in the past, I feel like it might have been more on this, like, oh, fuck, we don't know, this could kind of go. But now I feel like it's to a point where we're able to study some shit and get, like, warnings and stuff.
Readings and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe not a long warning, but not on the level where it could just go tomorrow. Like,
I think the thing with that would be, like...
Maybe I might be.
It's also like I think one of the only super volcanoes in the whole world, right? Like it's massive, right? So I think they're like it being like its own thing. We don't really know how something like that like
right. It's never
works.
It wouldn't immediately like cover the whole world in ash, but it would make the whole world crumble really quickly because
we'd go into nuclear fallout.
The whole fucking system would just be fucked. Like
that's terrifying, actually, considering the amount of bullshit that we are perpetuating. Like when it comes to climate change or whatever you want to call it, but it's like things are happening to where maybe it's as simple as like air pressure changes and boop, it explodes. Right. Like the tiniest thing could set something like
simple
that
as
off.
Like depleting the water table and then
or that I don't even want to think
I'm honestly glad you said that because like on our last podcast we had John M.F. Ward, shout out, and he brought up a really good point that I loved, and he was like
about climate change
when he was like last year with the pandemic, we shut everything down. The world came to a screeching halt, And it was because, we valued lives more than like, everything else, which is, most people agree with.
And the earth started to fix itself.
But he brought up the point, he's like, so at what point, is the world going to get so hot that it's like, we have to shut this shit down? Can't we do it now? If we can do it for like COVID, can't we shut this shit down and like fix this like global warming climate? Like, is it not that big of an issue? We're like, we'll handle it later. Like,
no, bro, it's crazy. We could take a lot more action. It's like, I don't know what it would be, but like specifically, but there's definitely like an immense amount of action that could be.
Well,
like,
think about half the country's complete aversion to masks. I like wearing a mask, actually.
Same.
I'll go out of my way to wear it. That's not true, but I don't mind it.
You wore masks before COVID.
Yeah. But anyways, it's just like if people are gonna get that up in arms about something like that, common sense,
invisible,
you can see right in front. Well, yeah, so it's like if you're gonna start restricting people's emissions and blah blah blah, it's like people are gonna riot in the streets. They rioted over a mask.
You're right, but it's just kind of like obviously I kind of put on like my conspiracy theory hat when I say this, but it's like it makes me see like, okay, so it's not about global warming and it's not about like saving the lives. It's about whatever kind of political thing you like, an agenda, I guess, because or else we would stop everything and try to like
there
fix
are people
warming.
in the whole involvement of like what a Congress or whatever that like want good. We just need more, and I think that like is gonna like get rid of over time maybe some of these dumb stipulations between two different ideas of things. But I think people need to be intensely empowered. I think rich and famous people, well, rich people are usually fuckers, but like famous people that like have impact need to like really, we talked about this last episode, really need to start doing some shit. And I think that the more like people put this pressure on shit, it's gonna become like fucking the movie Ants, bro.
But I was gonna say, to the point, I love the movie Ants, but I think to point that I think just talking about it is huge. Maybe someone never thought about it, like when John said that, I've never really thought about it like that. Like, we shut this shit down. Why can't we just shut it down again?
For
like
climate,
for like a big fucking issue
for the world.
And like so, like maybe just hear one person hearing this conversation, right?
Yeah, like we have like some pretty like scary information, like, and that's weird to me how it's not like taken seriously. Yeah, I'm like, yo, people are out here that have been studying this their whole life, like, yo, jumping up and down, stop, when we're all just like, I think I should get this shirt, like
forest on fire behind you, like.
Yeah, bro.
Posing for a selfie, right?
It's sickening. I cry sometimes when I just think about it. Like, actually,
but
what? I cry sometimes about this stuff.
So I mean, obviously, none of us are like political science majors, right? Like,
I'm not.
But no, but like, I always think that's like, okay, well, maybe it's because all the people and like, a lot of the main people in in politics, right? Whether it be the president, the vice president, Secretary of State Nancy Pelosi, majority House leaders, they're all like at least over the age of 65, which means
can't be good.
Well, in my mind, it just means like, so the stuff that they're making into law now,
it's a lot of old
by the
age.
time it goes in and is effective and like like law, they'll be gone. It won't affect them.
Aside from that, it can't be good. Like these people, like I love our elders, bro, but they're like don't have as like broad of a grasp on everything happening. They're like spent 50 something years like thinking it's a lot easier for us to like.
But at the same time, there's wisdom there. But I was more pointing to the fact that like they're making these laws.
I'm not saying 25-year-olds should be in Congress. I'm saying I'm saying maybe some 45-year-olds, you know, or maybe some people have a little bit more of that in between us and the older generation. There's this medium.
But no, just like literally the fact that whatever laws Biden's making or Biden, Trump, I don't give a fuck about either of them, right? But like whatever old president is making, literally it doesn't affect them because they won't be here for that.
No, but it's still a part. Like, so I'm putting myself in those shoes. If I was the president, like I would. I don't want to say that. That feels uncomfortable. But like, I would want to.
Bendy 2024.
Even if I was old and like about to die, I would still do everything I could to make the world for my family behind me a better place.
Right. I also think that a lot of it has to do with a lot of those guys are millionaires, billionaires, and they'll never understand what it's like. You feel that way because maybe because your upbringing and you've seen the stuff you've seen makes you more compassionate. But when you have millions and billions of dollars, you'll never understand what it's like for Joe Schmo to have to get up and go to work every day and still think about all these.
You came from really started from the bottom, might, but yeah.
I think bottom line, there's just no ethics to be had in politics, realistically speaking. So,
but our politics aren't going to go anywhere.
No, they're not.
So
but
that's
it's just like
people need to embrace that, I think, and like kind of come at shit and less of like this anarchy, fuck the government. Maybe a little bit more of like let's heal some shit. I don't know. This is all just kind of like I'm winging some thoughts right now, but.
It does start with the phasing out of old ideals. And what really got me, and I had this conversation earlier with like a coworker or someone, it's been on my mind, is the whole separation of church and state isn't a thing. Like, God's on everything. There is very archaic, like, fundamentalist views.
Pledge of Allegiance says under God.
Literally.
Making all these kids.
They don't say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore, right?
Yeah, no, that's good for them. I wouldn't either.
That's crazy,
but it's
though.
just like, what?
That was made me uncomfortable. I didn't know why. I never even knew why. As a little kid, I was like, I don't understand.
Because it's brainwashed.
Well, for me, it made sense. It's like, oh yeah, under God. Like, my parents are Christian. Like,
right.
Right, cool. It's like everyone's doing it. That makes sense. Go us. God's got a lot of people type vibe. And I was stoked on it when I was younger, and then obviously, teen years you kind of flip flop. But anyways, it's just weird to me that that it would be the idea of separation of church and state and not have that exist. Like, it's very influenced by the Bible and archaic ways of thinking, combined with being
like, you could never have a non-Christian president. Like, they would never vote a non-Christian, someone who is like vocally, I don't believe in God. That would, like, that's not going into office anytime soon.
Nah, yeah.
So
I'm impressing so much like energy that I want, because I
say it.
No, I'm like with you guys.
Yeah.
But I might really rabbit hole on some shit. Like,
go ahead, man. I just that's really, I've never thought about that either. Is that we're supposed to have the separation, but literally they swear in by putting their hands on a Bible.
It's cultish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've always thought that way about Christianity anyways. So
any elite group of people that has to meet in the middle of like the Northern California redwoods and have like weird sex orgies type shit, which is a thing. Not the way I just worded it.
No, yeah. What's it called?
I forget what it's called. Yeah. It's an actual conference, very like Rothschild
of like
elitists that just meet in the forest and have their world leader gathering. That's fucking creepy. So it's just like, throw God in the mix. They probably think they are gods. Say it, Bendy. Say something.
Well, to kind of step back to what you were saying is, you're saying politics isn't going anywhere, right, Bendy?
Yeah.
And I think in my opinion, the solution would be not get rid of, but like, the problem is the two parties. If you have two parties, you're always going to be divided. You can't. Literally, you're always going to be divided if there's just two parties, right?
Yeah, it's.
It just doesn't make sense, because very little people are like so like all right or all left, right? Most people are combinations of a lot of ideas and like idiosyms, right? Like
the combination of like capitalism and this democracy, or like it's kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I think it goes hand in hand with this brainwashing.
No, you're right.
This brainwashing, like.
But at the same time, like, democracy and like capitalism, to speak to what you're saying, is like kind of what this country was founded on, right? Kind of what makes us like greater.
No, I know it's kind of like what I'm ultimately thinking.
Yeah, it's hard.
So we're gonna scheme our way into.
I can't remember. Tell me more about communism. What did they do?
What
is communism? I can't remember.
Communism
I can't remember.
Would be
I'm sorry.
A dictatorship would be like communism. Basically, like the way your taxes are allocated. China is communist.
Okay, those are all examples of communism gone bad. On paper, it's equality.
That's more what I'm wondering. Like, what is
it
like
on paper?
Actually,
on paper, like it would be like ideally, which it's never happened in the history of it being in existence, but ideally, a communist society would be like a commune, where you contribute your part and you benefit by your part. But the problem is someone has to oversee how things are benefited, and that ends up being the government.
Don't quote me because I don't know. But that sounds a lot better than capitalism.
Oh, it sounds great, but it doesn't work because there's still an elite class of people controlling.
Yeah, and this elite can't go anywhere. That just, bro, I close my eyes. And
I think
sorry. I know this is never gonna be a thing, but this is why I get so sad. Cause I just like close my eyes and I'm just like really envision like everybody just like being nice and like growing their own food and fuck, that's never a thing. And it's just
how it could work is if you decentralized everything though. So like if you actually were divided into tribes, yeah, there would be local government, but it would be local. And how small the tribe is, maybe it's just by family. Maybe you get 4 families together, and you're your own sovereign nation.
Just start fantasizing on our own like versions.
So to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit,
that.
I'd say the reason it doesn't work, and I'm gonna go back to Rick and Morty. Like, so you ever seen the episode, the Purge episode of Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then at the end, they stop purging. And they're like, all right, well, how do we do society? And he's like, well, I'll do the bread. And
right.
Whoever with the bread, if they could just help me out paint my house, right? And then that guy goes, well, if I want to paint your house, I want a little extra bread.
And they start fighting.
Right. So it's just like, it's. I think just like as human beings, we're like, I'm doing all this work. I basically run the electric plant, and this guy's just growing bread. You know what I mean? So like in like your communistic,
people get murdered in a he says she said.
But in your communistic society, right, that would work, right? Where that guy, he just makes all the bread. This guy, he handles the power plant. But like we are like that's not fair.
It's also inefficient in terms of innovation because if one person's in control of everything, there's no competition. There's no need to make it better because it's working type vibe. There's no incentive, I suppose.
I was gonna say I think that goes back to the whole topic of like. Democracy and capitalism in America. Like we are that machine that we literally are just constantly creating, right? The iPhone is only good for a year and then we need a new one. It's almost like that's why America's so great is this constant competition and like going forward, like, where we creating like art.
It's so weird feeling like I've been so brainwashed being upset, but also feeling so grateful because I'm in a place where I can wake up and eat what I want for breakfast and all this shit. Like the mix of my thoughts and emotions on everything of being alive and in my situation is like, it's really interesting. I don't even know how other word to use.
I like to bring it back, and when I think about it like that, is like so much of like why I feel that way, which isn't wrong, is because I see it on social media or on the news or on TV, right? And then if I were to actually just evaluate the shit I actually only see with my own 2 eyes, I probably wouldn't feel that way at all, right? Like the shit I actually see with my own 2 eyes is usually not that like corrupted capitalistic like shit going on,
Right.
Ask that question to everybody right now because I think that's a great thing to think. Like, think about that. Like, what you see in your own eyes. I just want everybody to separate from all of their quick opinions real quick and really think about that, whatever that means to you, because I feel like there's some importance in that.
Right. But it's hard, It's kind of like that's naive a little bit too, right? Like, so I see both sides of it.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm not saying just follow everything you've seen, but I think there's always a medium and stuff.
Right.
And I think that from thinking that thought could kind of center people a little bit.
Right.
And not to just be, what I see is the way, but like kind of like I said, that the middle ground of things.
Or even like the phrasing, right? Like you've said several times, that's why America is so great, based off of an example, whereas someone could word the same thing. America exists, and because America exists, these systems are in place, like much more objectively.
Right.
So it's like even like the most subtle spin on the same concept is gonna, yeah. I side with what was just said as well. Like, go with what you see, but it's also very easy to get hyped up by what you see.
We're intensely nurtured and like it's really intense. Like,
I also think there's a lot of like bad characters at play now, so like maybe a lot of our parents' generation, right, they kind of buy that like stuff they see on social media and on the news for more face value than we do. They're like, well, my old man will say stuff like, well, it's on the news, why would I believe that, and it's on the news and you're not? And I'm like,
isn't that a really uncomfortable thing to have somebody say, because you're like, bruh, like,
right,
what that makes me, I just want to start going off and being like, well, let me just fucking,
because it's entertainment first of all, so we've covered that.
At the end of the day, it's a business they're running.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever, I know people that are that fixated on a news source, but like even my parents are more, using that generation as the example, right, are more, I feel like, well read than that, but they hold similar beliefs, I would imagine, but they they pull, so they know that it's all entertainment. But if I can like get the averages of these sources of entertainment, then maybe I am more well read. But it's like what happens for me is like the conspiracies are always shot down. They don't meet in the woods and have weird orgies. Like they do.
They're not drinking baby blood.
No, of course not.
Let's not make ourselves look too.
Well, but I think there's a bit of truth there though. Like so. When in the early 60s when aliens got like popular, right? Like when it was like everyone was seeing aliens, alien sightings, Area 51 blew up, right? They like the first thing that like happened is they put it in like newspapers like the Esquire and like so like these uncreditable newspapers, right? So then people like instantly anytime you see something about aliens, you're like, oh, it's that Esquire, uncredible, just a bunch of hullabaloo. And I think there's kind of that same thing going on now, not with aliens, but just with anything. Throw it, put it in the mix of some crazy stuff. Maybe there's a little bit of truth here, maybe there's not.
It's about timing too, like when shit's going off, like that's when everybody's distracted about something. That's when they slip some things under,
right?
Like a little bit, like.
Something that fucked with me and like I was able to just like see through it so well was like there was a video about Elon Musk and it was kind of like definitely like throwing mud at him, right? Like trying to like, what's wrong? What is this bajillionaire scientist up to? And it starts like playing this like really eerie music. So in my mind I go, oh, okay, first of all, it's already like propagated, right? Because someone had to put in this eerie music.
What did they cover though? Is he an eerie human being, or is it just the music?
I don't get that eerie of a vibe. I just get like this like vibe that he's like so like, just like stuck on like this wrong mission. Like I'm totally vibe with that. We should be putting these bajillions of dollars into so much other shit than going to fucking Mars. Like I don't know. I'm also curious like what some of the people who really want to help change the world to be better. I'm curious.
He's just a conscious Jeff Bezos.
I'm curious what those people like. What their plan is, or like how they think it's gonna like work, because like I feel like a lot of people think this is go around shit, or like man I hear people talking about all different forms of new world order and stuff, but like I don't know, it's gonna become from like some form of like closing off the narrow-mindedness and like listening to each other and like I don't know.
I always try to put myself in the shoes, right? So like say I had $1 billion, I would think, oh, no matter what happens, I'm good. Like the world could call it shit. I'm good. I'll buy my way out of it.
But do you see what's also? I feel like he's like when I said he's just a conscious Jeff Bezos. He's still as an individual immensely benefiting by his enterprises, right? But what he's doing is just like conscious. He's not cutting unnecessary corners, at least that we're aware of, or he's doing it in a way that's to be praised or better for the environment. Which
he still doesn't. He doesn't just do bad with all of his.
He's also still a human and makes mistakes. So and
exactly that's why I didn't want to bash him.
Right.
Be like fuck Elon for not doing this. So I said I think he's just intensely like invested in something that I don't think he should be. Like but whatever, man. It's not whatever, but I don't know.
How do you guys feel about this? I saw a post and I wasn't real sure how to feel about it. It was like, should we be concerned that all the billionaires are focusing on getting off of the planet? And I was like, there's a little truth there, but like, who else is gonna?
Well, bro, because I mean, maybe they're along the lines of humanity's already fucked up. They're not gonna come back. The shit's gonna get fucked. Let's just start finding our next place to live.
Maybe they have the technology.
Can you blame them fully?
But they're not gonna live long enough to like terraform Mars and enjoy it. Like you're better off just partying here.
Continuing humanity on Mars, man. Fuck. That's like an actual goal.
Yeah, and well, actually, I saw this cool conversation that I'd never really thought about, and they were like saying Elon was saying like his kind of bigger image plan is get to Mars, set up Mars, hop to the next one, hop to the next one.
That doesn't work.
Hop to the next one.
Don't we have enough information that says we can't do that?
There was like he's not the first one to think of like that concept either. I forget what it's called,
but that doesn't work. They're like those other planets are like made of gas.
Well, there's like, I mean, I didn't mean necessarily the next planet, but like hop to the next viable. Like I know that like Saturn has moons that are like that aren't gas and that could.
Do we have the technology to even traverse that though?
Right. Well, I think it's more of like
in the future
get there and develop. But there's, I mean, a lot of people theorize that we kind of did that the opposite direction. Like we're aliens that like hopped and hopped and hopped and hopped and got,
I can't buy that one.
And got to Earth. Really, I kind of buy it because it's like, so what's something happen? So Elon's big issue is like, so you can only get to Mars viably, like the shortest time, twice a year, right? Because we pass it real close twice. And so if something, he actually mentioned like if something happened like a World War III, and he misses those 2 windows, those people on Mars are fucked. They're not going to get food for a real long time because like there's only those 2 windows, and if there's something going on in the world, like a massive virus takes it over, we're not going to be able to get those windows, and they're going to have to wait a year, right? So I think maybe something like that could happen, like hypothetically, right? If we were going the other way, hopping the rocks, maybe we got to Earth, and then shit fell apart back there.
I mean, we're talking like the origins of humankind, so like I suppose anything's possible.
And we're really fantasizing and conspiracizing.
I don't know. I love this shit.
I'm like, wait a minute. I have no frame of reference to really dispute that, because like the argument could be made that we're just maybe we did start from bacteria, and the bacteria hopped planets. Like,
right.
I don't know.
I think that's actually probably basic. Most people in science probably believe
I'll always
like
be
that.
interested in all the stuff and like where we come from, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I think everybody's goal should be to stop. And like I won't even talk, I'm not going to go too far in depth about the religious aspect because I just don't want to. But like I will say this, not just in religion, just in a lot, I think there's a lot of what I see as ignorance is how it hits me, because like we'll never know why we're here. We never know what's going on. I don't think we'll ever know a lot of shit, like to a certain degree. And this shit's crazy. It's awesome. Like you can like go, but we get to live a life. Like, so I try to like just like, I'm not saying you were going off. This is just connected to everything we've been talking about, because aliens are super interesting to think about, and I love thinking about it and shit. But like I think there's like this piece of like, as far as like thinking of where we came from. We came from whatever the fuck. I don't know. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is...
Right. It's almost like the whole just, like, living in the past thing. Like, you're here in the present. Stop thinking about where we came from. Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say? So I think
we'll move forward. There's, like, an enlightening thing about that. It's just, like, living in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Should we wrap this up? Yeah. This has been an intense one, guys.
All right, well, yeah. I'm going to go cry in the shower and curse... Just kidding.
So is that different than like what you were gonna do regularly, or?
Yeah, no, that was a little variation. I'm usually not super like foul mouthed in the shower. You know.
Fuck.
Tourette's in the shower.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
And then you get out like, oh hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah. No, but that was weird. Now we can cut something out.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have a great artist coming up.
It's gonna be awesome.
He or she is gonna kill it.
Hi, I'm Kaleb J. This is Nathan Chartrey. We're both artists from Spokane, Washington. This song's called Horns.
Fuck down like they some kind of rough. I'm a sinner and a crook, a winner in my book. Catch me on the stage, I'm the one to overlook. Catch me wearing a soldier's hood. Lames frying brains, but you're done overcooked. I'm a wild genius, come closer, take a look. Like whoa, yo, cause conversations with the devil wearing down my mental. So cynically cruel, but I'm over sentimental. No morals or these views, just scribble scripture with a pencil. Arrogance got me cocky like I think of the best. Whoa, oh so can't spin the records of Depeche Mode while playing 64 Nintendo chips in the bag. Not talking snacks, we strapped up on extendos. Wag pussy bitches in my way like go and drop that fucking dress. Oh shit, I'm served with the flavor sauce, kinda like a Wetzel fucking pretzel like. Cause I just wanna live my motherfucking life, bitch. Spend a little time getting kinda high, bitch. Looking so divine when I'm spitting on these rhymes. So never waste a dime, this a look inside my eye. Just wanna live my motherfucking life, bitch. Spend a little time getting kinda high, bitch. Looking so divine when I'm spitting on these rhymes. So never waste a dime, this a look inside my
oh, just fuck it, I'm still gross rubbish. So take the trash out, bitch, or just love it. It's dark in the park and I'm fucking in the honey bucket, burning blunts and earning love and disrespectful skinny kid who keeps his mouth running. I'm here to talk about the drugs, money, bitches, and the nuts I'm always busting. I think it's something, if not, then I'm nothing. Either fucking way, I hope the money steady coming. It's so funny, hey, cause everybody's just another crummy dummy, looking kinda bummy. So feed the kids, bitch, the hood is looking hungry. It's up to us, cause God is gone, his book is fully dusty. So look at my damn knuckles, bitch, I'm fully fucking bloody. I'm sipping on this liquor till I'm feeling fully bubbly. So throw that cake up in my face and call me the kid Budgie like. Cause I just wanna live my motherfucking life, bitch. Spend a little time getting kinda high, bitch. Looking so divine when I'm spitting on these rhymes. So never waste a dime, this a look inside my. I just wanna live my motherfucking life, bitch. Spend a little time getting kinda high, bitch. Looking so divine when I'm spitting on these rhymes. Never waste a dime, this a look inside my.
I mean, we still fucked up, but like that one was definitely awesome.
You're good. Yeah, no, that was good. I was like, no, he did it again.
Shut up and make me more money.
Shut up, we ain't never gonna let up. I'm keeping my head up, following the way to the cheddar.